having me here today. I'm very excited to talk with you a bit about what a changemaker, about what being a changemaker has allowed me to do, and about just how critical it is that everyone become a changemaker, not just certain people. So my name is Meagan Warren, and I am 15 years old, and I'm currently a sophomore in high school, and I founded my own nonprofit, Books for Bedtime, when I was 11 years old and in the 6th grade. And the reason I started Books for Bedtime was because I have a passion for reading. Growing up, books were always in my life. My mom's a teacher, and I've always loved books. I felt that without books, I didn't feel like I could be myself. I felt like a part of me was missing. And so when I found out that at my mom's school, the kids there didn't have any books, either at their house or at school, it really broke my heart, and I knew that I needed to do something about it. So that's what I did. I knew that I had a power, and I knew that I could do this, and so I decided to start Books for Bedtime. And since then, I've given away over 86,000 books. I've been doing it for about 4 years now, and it's just because the way I feel is this: everybody should have the access to education, and everybody should feel the power that I have felt by becoming a changemaker. And by changemaker, I mean somebody who has found their power to change the world for the good of all. Think about this. If everybody in this room found their power and used it to make the world a better place, think about how much greater the world would be. Think of how much happier everyone would be. And we need that. The world is changing. Okay, I guess I'll talk about this first. So, what I do with Books for Bedtime, there's 3 different steps to it. In the beginning, when I first started, my only goal was to get books in the hands of children who needed them. That was it. Also encouraging literacy as well, but books were my #1 priority. And obviously, I think I've done a pretty good job achieving that with 86,000 books. But then I realized that my story is powerful. I realized that there's so much power in words. And so I now go around and I tell kids that you can do what you want to do. You can change the world. And if you have an idea, a vision, a dream, a passion, use it. Nobody should be able to have the power to tell you no, that you can't do it. Because it's important in this world, and I'll get to that in a second. And then recently, I started an initiative called the Changemaker Folder. And what I do with that is, it's a resource for kids to help find their passion, to help find their spark, like I did mine back in 6th grade. Because it's allowed me to have so many opportunities, to meet so many cool people, and to, speak like here, right now. And I just want everybody to go find that power, because there's a huge power in doing good and in finding your passion. And we should all use that to fuel us forward. The reason I'm here today is because of that statistic right up there. You may be wondering, again, why am I here? Why does this matter? Why does change making matter? Why am I talking to you about it right now? I'm talking about it to you right now because 85% of jobs that will exist in 2030 haven't been invented yet. That means that when we grow up, we don't know what to expect. We are not prepared. We will not be prepared for the world that we will live in as adults and as individuals if we do not do something about it, if we don't learn how to adapt. Because there's no way we can predict the future at this point until one of you guys invents time travel. But in the meantime, we can't do that yet. And so, in the world that we know is changing, in the world that everyone sees is changing, we need to be ready and willing to change with it. Because think about this: if you don't know what jobs you're looking for, what good will training for the same repetition thing? What good will training for a job of just repetition do? It won't do any good because it's not what you're going to be doing when we're adults. Did people ever think about being a YouTuber as a job? No one ever thought that would become a job, but it is. And that's just the beginning. We're only the start of this change from repetition and the old literacy to the new literacy. And the new literacy is change making. So parents, if you want your kids to be ready for the future, the first step is things like this. Getting the full education, because that's obviously very important still. We need people to make those discoveries in every aspect of the world. We need people to be educated, but we need everyone to be empathetic. People have forgotten about empathy, and it's more important now, as opposed to ever, that's better, than it ever had been. So we need empathy, we need change making, and we need everyone to find their spark so that they can find their passion and solve the world. And so not only will this be good for the world, because someone will have found their power to change it, but it'll be good because that's what you need to succeed. And I'm not just making this up. See all those colleges? Those are changemaker universities. Those are colleges that have sworn that they want their students to become changemakers, and that they want their students to go into college as changemakers. And there's dozens and dozens of more universities just like that. Those are just a small sample. So I think, see, this isn't just something that I'm making up, that Ashoka's making up. It's something that's been going on for decades already, and it will only continue. Technology is growing so rapidly that we need to be ready for it. And at this point, we're not. And so I come here not just representing myself, or even just Ashoka. I'm here representing a movement of youth who are changing the world. I mean, think about it. March for Our Lives. It's just all these powerful movements of kids. Kids, we are the ones who are changing the world right now. And so, parents, you can't just say no when your kids have an idea. Because when I started the book Bedtime, and I came up with the idea for it after seeing an injustice in the world, I ran downstairs and I said, Mater, that's what I called my mom, I want to change the world. And what if she said no? That would have meant that 86,000 kids wouldn't have had the books that they have now. 86,000 kids wouldn't have had the resources that they need to continue their education. And that would have meant that all the kids that I talked to and inspired my story, people who heard my TED Talks, things like that, they wouldn't have heard my story, and the world would be completely different, at least to some extent, from what it is now. But my mom said yes, and so I'm here today, and I've been all over, telling people about my story and about the need for change. Because it's coming whether you're ready for it or not. So you have a choice to make. Are you going to be ready for the new world, the world in which empathy is key, and in which change making is the new power? Or will you stay stuck in the old world of repetition? There's a choice to make. And from my perspective, the choice is pretty clear.